This is an inspiration podcast, part of a series of collected inspiring stories by young and adult carers who have progressed into higher or further education or into careers of their choice despite the challenges and adversity presented to them as carers. The project was funded by Reaching Wider and hosted by Credu, a charity connecting and supporting carers in Mid, West and North Wales. We hope it inspires you.
Hi. Well, it probably started when I was, in high school, probably about year 8 or year 9 when I was younger, when my mum was going through breast cancer. And kind of as a result of that, I had a problem with alcohol, and that's kind of what she needed um, care for. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like I didn't really care for her. Like, I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I just feel like I didn't really care for her that much. I feel like young carers for me was more of like a support for me. Do you know what I mean? But I don't feel like I actually provided care for anybody else. Young carers like helped me because it was lonely with being with mum and things like that and Saffron, and I didn't like being at home. And so any chance I got, or anywhere I got invited with young carers, I was like, yeah, let's go, because it was a nice place to be, whereas home wasn't always. Yeah, I suffer with like my own kind of mental health a lot. I think obviously from being around that at home and things like that, and obviously my dad living in another country, I didn't have really anybody else. Um, and my family, a lot of them didn't want to kind of be around my mum and that anymore, so that made it quite lonely. So I struggled a lot with that, like, yeah, with my own mental health and things like that, and like suicide attempts and things. And my mum went into Shelton, so I can't remember specifically, but I know I went into hospital at one point, and then I come out and went into like with foster families for a little while and things. And obviously, while all this was going on, it was hard for me to go to school, and I was having to see psychologists a lot, and I was moving around a bit, not too far, I suppose, to houses in Shrewsbury and things. But yeah, I missed a lot of school in quite an important time. It was year 10, so for the whole of year 10, I barely even attended school. Um, and then I think when I started to improve a little bit, and I think mum had come home and things, and she was getting better, um, the school were really good, and they said that I could like re-attend year 10. So obviously I joined the year below me, and like do year 10 again, and then I could obviously, because year 10 and 11, that's like the GCSE years, isn't it? They're very important years. So for me to miss like half of that was quite, would have really impacted on my education, which at the time I didn't think I cared about it, but I know I wanted to do something with my life. So yeah, so I'm quite lucky that they let me do year 10 again. But that was quite hard, I find, because obviously, a lot of people I think in school thought I was doing the year again because I wasn't very clever or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, that was hard. Um, Trying to make new friends that are younger and things. Anyway, and yeah, no, and I suppose because I didn't have that many friends around me, it was easier for me to put my head down and get like on with my GCSEs, and I left with quite good grades in the end. And yeah, so high school's not my favourite memory, but yeah, and I went on to college, and I did performing arts for a year and then left that. But then, yeah, I went on to college to do health and social care. And then from there, I applied to university to do nursing. Well, I'm an adult nurse, so I can look after any adult. But yeah, no, I work on spinal injuries at the orthopaedic in Cabowen. Yeah, so just to look after people that have, been spinally injured, all different variations of paralysis, and like rehabbing them to be able to look after themselves when they go into the community with their new found injury. So that's could be pretty tough, but it's made me more understanding of different mental health, and like, because I've had patients that also have suffered with alcoholism and things like that, and it kind of makes you more understanding, maybe than other people or even other nurses, that um, can sometimes make comments, that it's like a choice and things like that. And obviously after living with that, like, for years when I was younger, it's not a choice. It's like a horrible addiction. And I don't know, I just think it's like, even though it's awful, like, experiences, it's like made me, like, I think more, one of the more understanding people, about it. Um, and just about mental health in general, because it is quite a difficult subject. It's quite hard. I suppose even as nurses, it's quite a difficult thing to get your head around sometimes, because it's not like, it's not like a broken leg or a broken back. That's something that you can, it's physical, and you think, right, this is how we're going to fix it, and then, you either fix it or live with it or whatever. But yeah, mental health's different. It's harder to understand, I think. And I suppose I've had loads of experience, obviously, with it, with myself and my mum, over the years. Um, so that definitely helped me in my career, just to relate to patients and things like that. I think I always have a really good um, relationship with my patients, maybe more so than other nurses, or not so much. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just think it's, all experiences you have make you the person that you are, don't they? And I like to think I'm very understanding, and um, yeah. I don't know if I'm rambling or making any sense. I know what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I think, yeah, 'cause with Saffron, I remember I didn't want to leave, and because I'd obviously thought about uni, like, obviously earlier, like when mum was still not very getting on very well. But and yeah, I just didn't. I just thought, because you know I was like, the more reason, like, obviously because Saffron was a lot younger, and I just thought if I left, like, she'd be on her own, like, with mum, and that worried me. Like, I didn't want that, because I think sometimes I would help to try and kind of like hide things from her. Sometimes not very well, but you try your best, don't you? And I just thought if I wasn't there, and things, but it's nothing really due to me. I think it was just the fact that mum did get better, um, after going to like Shelton and things like that. Um, yeah, she did get. But I mean, she used to lapse sometimes, and Saffron would like ring me and whatever. But I think, yeah, before I left, she had got a lot better. So I kind of, probably selfishly, but I just I I was desperate. I just wanted to go to uni more than anything, and but yeah, I don't think if mum had got any better, I probably would have gone. But yeah, no, I'm just lucky really that she was kind of in a place that I thought, and I'm not too far away, and I can come home if anything happens. I can always come back. Like, it's not forever kind of things. But I just thought, you know, just go and try it. We get on, and luckily, mum stays better, and she's been better now for about 5 years. So yeah, I was lucky really. It wasn't kind of yeah, I was lucky that she got better kind of at the right time for me to leave. With Manchester, it only takes me like probably about 2 hours from door to door, like on the train, so that I could come back, if I was needed and things like that. And I always made sure, like, I had my phone on and things like that. Like, yeah, I did worry a lot, and that was hard when you start uni and you're making friends and things like that. And I was always worried about home, and I was always like ringing Saffron and my mum, and like they probably thought it was a bit weird because I was so close to my family, like, and like checking up on them. But yeah, no, I think as time went on and I could see that, things were okay. But yeah, I felt guilty for ages, even because I thought, what, and I always worried, like, what if it's not okay back home, and what if they're just telling me that it is because they know that I've come away, kind of things. But so maybe it wasn't, but yeah, I did worry a lot. I think like, oh, it sounds awful. I don't know if I should say it, but I just to be honest, because we obviously lived in like council houses and things a lot. Like obviously because with mum's drinking and like she couldn't work and things like that. And I don't know. I just didn't want that for me. I really didn't want that. I didn't. I just thought it's not about like money or wealth or being born into things. I just thought, yeah, I knew that if I tried really hard and I got an education, that I could provide for myself, and I wanted to do that. I was adamant. I just wanted to, yeah, not have that, and there's nothing wrong with that. It was just, I don't know, we didn't live in the nicest places sometimes, and I was adamant that I just wanted to kind of get away from that. And I think it's probably my view of like living in like a council house when I was younger is probably because I had such an awful experience with it. It was probably nice for other people, but I think my experience of it was just kind of, it was when mum was not having a great time, and obviously, yeah. So I didn't want that, and I just thought if I worked really hard that I could get what to where I wanted to be, and I luckily I was able to do that. Um, and yeah, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, because sometimes, like, I think at first I was always like, "Oh my god, like, I'm a nurse," and like, I suppose, yeah, you forget about that. Like, obviously, I've been doing it now for a few years and things, but I am proud of it because I think a lot of people just didn't think like that. I don't know. I don't think they thought anything. I just always felt like they just didn't think I'd kind of probably do a lot, really, because I was always, in school, I was always having so much problems with my mum, and I'd come in and I'd cry, or I'd like not show up, or I'd be wearing the same trousers that didn't fit me for years because mum never took me clothes shopping because she couldn't or didn't have any money to. And I don't know. I just always think that no one thought I'd ever like do anything. And when I think back, I'm just so glad that I didn't let that thought like um kind of, do you know what I mean? Like, rather than being like, oh yeah, I'm probably not, I actually did. Like, I was determined to kind of, actually do something. And it's a nice feeling. Yeah, because me and my mum are like best friends now, which years ago I could never have seen happen. I think it's difficult as well though, because obviously, I was a lot younger then, and I think it is difficult because as an adult now, I mean, I don't know, I haven't been through it like as an adult now, like, having my mum like that. But I suppose as a child you don't understand as much, and it is difficult when you look to this person to kind of provide for you and look after you, and then when they're not doing that, it's confusing and it is hard. Um, so yeah, no, but now we're closer than ever. And my sister's a child now, which is crazy. But she's a really good mum. Yeah, and I'm glad as well that like that it didn't seem to like affect. I mean, it did affect Saffron a lot, living in a house like that and things. But yeah, no, she's doing really well. She's got Alice, and yeah, she's a really good mum. So yeah, it's good. Really thinking back, but yeah, no, it's funny because you kind of, this is like my life, and I've got like my own house and things, and yeah, I haven't thought about any of this stuff for like years. It's weird. It's kind of, remembering like what it was like. Whereas at the time, I kind of thought that was going to go on forever. I just thought that it was going to be like that forever. And mum was going to be like that forever. So it's quite nice to think and that it's a memory now, and not necessarily an awful one, just a memory. So,